Hey everyone, today we're going to review this evaporative air cooler. We got this as a cost-effective way to cool spaces in our home during the hot summer months. And it comes with a few items. You have these ice packs. You also have the caster wheels, which can be placed on the bottom of the unit to make it easier to move around. It comes with a user manual, as well as a remote control with all the similar buttons as you'll find on the face of the unit. If you want to operate it from a distance, you can. And the air cooler itself is super easy to use. It has some basic functionalities. On the front, you'll find a power button. Just push it once, it'll turn on. And all the buttons are touchscreen friendly, so just a simple press and they'll turn on or off. You also have mode. So right now it's on normal mode, but if you hit mode, it'll go into a natural or sleep mode. And all this does is it'll vary the fan speed. Sometimes it'll shut off for a second and then kick the fan back on. So we'll turn that off. You also have speed. So this is level 1. You also have level 2, which is what F2 stands for. You have level 3. And it's a powerful fan. It's not too loud. It actually runs very quietly, but the fan speed is really nice. You also have a timer. You can set that up to 12 hours. And then cool. The cooling function is what will use the water from the water tank to cool the air and allow it to blow out cooler air. And now you also have swing. What swing does is the vertical fins on the inside. You can see they'll oscillate from right to left to allow the air to be spread across the room more evenly. In the bottom, you'll find a water tank, and this water tank is filled from the top. And on the top, you'll find where you can put this space for your ice packs. You can just place these in here, and this will help cool the water even more to make the air that's coming out of the unit colder. And then you just want to pull water in here. On the water tank, you do see there's a minimum line. You want to make sure the water level is above the minimum line and below the maximum line. And on the back of the unit, you also have a silicone drain plug. This drain plug just pulls right out super easy, and you can just tilt the unit to drain it all out. And on the back here, you'll find a honeycomb paper. And in order to take this out to clean it periodically, you just take these screws out, and this grate will come off for maintenance. So now that we've gone over the basic functionalities of the air cooler, let's see it in action. Alrighty, y'all, so now we have water in here. Just keep in mind, I did have to use 2 of these to get this to the minimum water level. This is a 1-gallon pitcher, so 1.5 to 2 is roughly what you're gonna need in order to meet that minimum threshold. Just keep that in mind before you use the unit. So now that we have water in here, you can see the water line is above the minimum fill line. So we'll go ahead and power it on. And so right now it's just in normal mode, it's just the fan blowing air. If you want to turn it into cooling mode, this is where it'll use the water to cool the air, make it even colder. You want to turn on cooling. So what's happening is the water that's in the tank is being pumped up to this top reservoir, and then the water is going to overflow and it's going to run down this honeycomb paper in the back. And so as this fan sucks in air, that air is going to run across that wet honeycomb paper, which is going to make it even colder. So the air coming out on the other side is going to be cooler than the air that's being brought in. If you want to amplify this, you can do so by using these ice packs, and these just fit right in the top reservoir where you pour it in the water. And if you want to, you can also use ice, and that's going to also enhance the effectiveness of the air cooler, allowing it to push out that much colder air. Another great thing about the evaporative air cooler is the water that it uses is actually recycled. So the water that's being pumped up and running down this honeycomb paper is actually being returned to the tank. So it's constantly recycling this water. So this has about a 5.3 gallon water tank. So it takes a really long time for it to run out of water, which is nice. So you have a peace of mind knowing it'll work for a prolonged period of time without running out of water. So overall, it's a great product, a cost-effective way to help cool spaces in your home during the hot months. Highly recommend. Hope this helps, and y'all enjoy.